Okay, today hopefully we're going to take a ride down the Snake Pass. It's a popular ride, bikers and petrolheads in general, to be fair. Fairly twisty, meandering road, some spectacular views. At one point it is intersected by the Pennine Way, but it's the old route between Sheffield and Manchester. At the moment we're on the road that takes us down to Glossop. Once we get down to Glossop, we'll join the Snake and hopefully, if it's on, have a nice ride across. But for now, let's just enjoy this road. This is quite again, it's popular, this road, to link onto the Snake with bikers. I'll be very surprised if we don't see any others on the road today. Taking it a bit cautiously because the roads are damp with some overnight rain, but also this time of year the roads get greasy, and in this area you get a lot of water running across the roads, so you've just got to watch out. Obviously we've got the leaves, but so yeah, we're not in a hurry, not racing, just have a gentle ride. The route's also popular with cyclists. We're basically crossing the foothills of the Pennines, so I mentioned the Pennine Way, which is a long distance footpath that takes you from in the middle of the Peak District, effectively, all the way up to the borders of Scotland. Still a popular route with walkers, backpackers. I've done various sections of it, but never had the time to do the full length, so. But yeah, over to our right, the hills to our right, that chain of hills goes all the way up to the Scottish borders, and to our left it takes you down to into Derbyshire. Don't know if you can see it, but the road over to our right, that's Woodhead, which is an east-west route in the north of England, which still seems to be the route that a lot of heavy goods vehicles choose. The next alternative route going north is the M62, but it adds quite some time and some mileage to the trip, so yeah, it's not an ideal road to meet HGVs on, but we're now getting the winter sun low in the sky, so it's hazy today, so it's not too bad, but it does make riding into it a challenge. Can't believe it, it's November and I've got flies on my visor. This avoids the traffic lights at the bottom of the hill. Well, this is where we keep our fingers crossed and hope that the road is open, because there have been some closures, quite a few closures on the Snake this year. Unfortunately, it's a road that suffers very badly from landslides, because it's basically built onto the side of a hill, and in recent years there's been quite a few landslips which have caused the road to be closed for repairs. But now it looks like we're open. Okay, here we are on the Snake proper, or to give it its full title, the Snake Pass. There you have it on the sign. It's only in recent years that it's been a blanket 50-mile-an-hour limit on the road. It used to be national speed limit, but it is very popular with your sports bike riders because of the bends, etc., and your performance car drivers. It's a challenging road, but it's a rewarding one. We're not in a hurry, so we're going to keep the speed down and enjoy the ride. There have been, I think this year, at least 3 fatalities of motorcyclists on the road. I think in one of them it was a bike-on-bike accident with both riders being killed. So yeah, it's a road that you've got to have your wits about you on, and because it gets popular, it's a road that can get quite busy. One of the other problems you have is it's an area that's very popular with walkers, so there are a couple of lay-bys, and you've got to watch out for cars stopping to pull into the lay-bys and cars pulling out as people move. So, okay. Typical Yorkshire moorland, this. Or Derbyshire probably at this point, but we're coming up to where the Pennine Way crosses the road, and over to our left is an area of moorland that's called Bleaklow. And if you ever get up there, it does live up to its name. But one of the interesting things, or one of the facts about Bleaklow, is that up on the top there are the remains of a World War II era B-29 American Superfortress bomber. There's quite a lot of it left because of the remoteness and the difficulty of access. Most of the plane wasn't salvaged. I believe the plane crashed sometime in 1947, and it was doing a payroll run between 2 American Air Force bases, and it was carrying the payroll from one Air Force base to another. So it had, I think, 11 crew and 2 servicemen travelling with the payroll, I guess. So I believe, and I'll check this, I believe there were 13 people on board. Unfortunately, it misjudged its altitude and crashed into the moor, killing all 13 of the people on board. It led to the RAF Mountain Rescue from Harper Hill being called out. The Americans were on scene very, very quickly, and the local volunteer mountain rescue teams came came out. Up here where the cars are, this is where the Pennine Way, and that hill over to our left is the hill I'm on about. That's Bleaklow up there, and the plane is up there still. Quite recognisable piece of wreckage. Okay, this is where the Pennine Way crosses. The aircraft wreckage is literally about 3 miles from this point. Follow the Pennine Way that we've just passed there, and it's to the left of the Pennine Way a little ways, but up on the top of that ridge, or the other side of that ridge. It didn't make it over the hill. But one of the, if you read the story of the crash, the British Mountain Rescue teams were a little bit, how can I put it, put out by their American colleagues. They were more interested in recovering the money, which I think was about $7,000, something like that, than they were the bodies or trying to find see for any survivors. The bodies were eventually recovered, although I think it took a couple of days to get them down off the hillside. And but yeah, still up there if you're into doing a little bit of walking. The Peak District has quite, I think there are 40-50 crash sites of planes in the Peak District. There are a couple of books that tell you where they are and give you descriptions of what the planes were, what they were doing, their backstory, and how to find them, and in fairness, there's how much is left. But I think the Bleaklow one is got the most complete wreckage up there, so I might try and drop a couple of photos when I had a walk up with my son. I might drop a couple of photos into the video so you can have a look. So, but one of the other interesting facts that the British rescue teams mentioned was the Americans, as they do with everything, one site mob-handed straight away, very, very quickly, complete with their full catering outfit. Apart from the fact that the American catering wagon only served coffee, the British guys did say that the food was far superior to anything that they were getting back at the RAF base at Harper Hill, or that the civilian guys were able to get. People might not realise, any of my overseas viewers, but 1947 in the UK we were still hard rationing. A lot of food was still in very short supply after the Second World War, and rationing was very much still in place. So to be given a lash-up breakfast by the courtesy of the American NAFI was more than welcome by the British rescue teams. But still a sad event. I'd say 13 people died because the pilot misjudged his altitude probably by 100 feet. If it had been 100 feet higher, he'd have cleared the top of the hill. But so okay, right, we're still on the Snake, and you probably realise it gets its name because of the way it weaves and turns along following the valley. But this is the problem, it follows the river down in the valley there, and for whatever reasons, I mean, I think some of it is because they felled a lot of trees, which have then resulted in rain being able to wash away the landscape and cause damage to the road, or whether it's just the nature of the area. There have been rumours that it is now costing so much to keep this road open that unless the local authorities that are responsible for it, so I'm guessing that's South Yorkshire and Derbyshire Council, excuse me again, it's a bit cold today, it's getting on the throat. Yeah, the authorities that are responsible for it are saying the cost of the upkeep of this road is getting far too expensive. Fairly major repairs. You might not pick up from the video, but there's quite a lot of areas where the road just drops because it's sunk. And if they can't get the funding to keep it open, the support from the government, they're saying that they're going to have to close it permanently, which would be sad. If for no other reason, it gives access to a lot of good areas of walking, and it's good for a nice leisurely motorcycle ride on a cold November Monday. To be fair, this is probably the quietest I've known this road for a long time. Usually you will get caught up in traffic, especially as we come up to the various roadworks and you get behind traffic. It's very rare you come down here without meeting a convoy of cars. As you can see here where the road's been repaired. So yeah, we usually do get caught up in a massive convoy of cars at some point down here. As I say, I'm not bothered about breaking any records. I'm out for enjoying the ride and putting this video together. But yeah, the Snake, one of our favourite roads. And as I say that, we come up behind some cars. But yeah, and to the second set of roadworks. There's usually 3 or 4 sets of roadworks on the road for the last few years. It is what it is. But sometimes being on a motorbike does have its advantages. But you can see very clearly there how the road's fallen away. So it's a single lane road at that point. They're going to have to completely rebuild the banking or change the route of the road. Either or. As the natural erosion's taking the road away. In winter, there are now snow gates on this road, because in winter this literally becomes impassable if we have any, even a small amount of snow, but any serious snow, this road becomes impassable. But the number of people that do try to drive it, I used to be a member of a 4x4 club that used to come out helping rescue people that had got stranded, and one year we were in this area. We did find a couple of cars trying to make it across and persuading them to turn round, but one of our members was snowboarding down this road, which we didn't have videos back in those days, but would have made for some interesting video footage. Him snowboarding down the road being followed by 3 or 4 Land Rovers. So, but these days if it snows you're very unlucky if you get on the road, and yeah, the police don't take very kindly if you do try and get onto it. So spoils the fun of those that were enjoying it sensibly, but there were people that were getting themselves into serious difficulties thinking they could drive over it for whatever reason. Now, oh, to be fair, it's been a few years since we've had snow bad enough to close the road. We used to listen for the weather forecast and the road condition forecast, and when they said that the road was closed, then we'd be ready to come out and help out if needed, with a flask of coffee and some warm blankets for those that hadn't heeded the warnings or heard the warnings. Yeah, some fun times we had. Again, I might show a photo in, we'll see. Anyway, let's just enjoy the last few bends as we come down. We're going down to the Derwent Dam, which I've probably featured on a few of my videos before. We're going to go down to the Derwent, to the cafe down at the dam. We're now getting the full glory of the autumn trees, the leaves on the trees changing their colours, and the range of yellows and golds and browns and oranges and greens. Yeah, the full kaleidoscope of colours of autumn. Good to be alive. And there we have it. full beauty, the full glory of Derwent Reservoir. So we're doing some logging up here. That's the memorial. Worth noting, today is the 11th of November, so today is officially Armistice Day. Most Armistice Day, Remembrance Day parades take place on the Sunday closest to, so most took place yesterday, but today is officially Remembrance Day. And there's the memorial to the dam busters which trained in this area, with the wreaths that have been laid there, and there will be people that have been up to the crash site that I mentioned, which and will have left poppies and tributes to the airmen that were killed up there. It is quite chilly now. We've done been in the saddle for about an hour, and I've just put the heated grips on as we come into the cafe area. Here we are. And there we are. Don't think it matters what day of the week you come, there's always somebody here on a bike. Just have a quick wander. This is the Derwent Cafe.